Lewis Hamilton finished fourth in Belgium, moved into second place in the championship, and then delivered a message Ferrari could not afford to ignore. The team had improved the engine, but not enough. Hamilton called it one step forward, not the whole step. And behind those careful words was a brutal reality. Ferrari had just taken the lead at Spa. George Russell was already out. Charles Leclerc had the strategic advantage. Mercedes had only one car left in the fight. And Kimi Antonelli still caught Leclerc, passed him on the Kemmel Straight, and won by roughly 1.9 seconds. Then Hamilton's own race descended into chaos. Contact with Russell, a 5-second penalty, a pit stop that ended with a Ferrari mechanic being struck, and a radio message revealing that Hamilton could not turn the car properly. Ferrari left Belgium with both cars near the front. But Hamilton's reaction exposed something the final result could not hide. Ferrari was moving forward. Mercedes was still moving faster. Subscribe to the channel, because the most important part of Hamilton's message was not what he criticized. It was what he refused to celebrate. Hamilton's fourth place finish looked respectable. In championship terms, it looked even better. Russell failed to score after retiring from the race, allowing Hamilton to move ahead of him in the standings. Hamilton reached 159 points. Russell remained on 154. Leclerc stood on 126. Antonelli led with 204. That placed Hamilton second in the championship, 45 points behind the Mercedes driver. On paper, Ferrari had gained something important, but Hamilton knew the result did not tell the complete story. A championship position can improve because the car becomes faster. It can also improve because someone else fails to finish. Those are not the same thing. Hamilton moved ahead of Russell because Russell's race ended on the opening lap. Antonelli extended his lead because Mercedes still had enough performance to win. Ferrari had improved its position. Mercedes had strengthened its control. That difference explains why Hamilton refused to speak, as though the championship had suddenly turned in Ferrari's favor. He praised the work. He acknowledged the engine progress. But he immediately placed a limit around that praise. It was not the whole step. That sentence revealed more than frustration. It revealed measurement. Hamilton was not comparing Ferrari with where it had been a few weeks earlier. He was comparing Ferrari with where it needed to be. And after Belgium, those two places were still separated by Mercedes. The pressure surrounding Hamilton had been building before Spa. After Austria, he had spoken candidly about Ferrari's loss of performance. Then at Silverstone, another concern appeared. Hamilton said his magic had disappeared. He pointed toward a front wing setup that had not been optimized as effectively as the one used by Leclerc. That comment mattered because Formula One performance is not simply about placing the same parts on two cars. The driver must trust how those parts behave. A small difference in setup can completely change the feeling at the steering wheel. The front of the car may respond instantly for one driver. For another, it may hesitate. The rear may feel stable for Leclerc. Hamilton may feel movement before the car reaches the limit. Both drivers can be using the same basic machine, yet experience it in completely different ways. Imagine two people wearing the same model of running shoe. One pair fits perfectly. The other presses against the foot and changes the runner's movement. The product appears identical. The confidence is not. Hamilton's Silverstone comments suggested Ferrari was still searching for the setup window that gave him complete trust. That is a serious concern for any driver. For seven-time world champion, it carries even more weight. Hamilton knows how a championship-winning car should communicate. He knows how the front end should react before a fast corner. He knows how the rear should behave when the power arrives. He knows the difference between a difficult car and a car that is not being used correctly. When Hamilton said his magic had disappeared, he was not admitting that his ability had vanished. He was describing a broken connection, the connection between instinct and response. A driver at this level does not consciously calculate every movement. He feels the car. He reacts before the danger fully develops. But that instinct only works when the machine behaves consistently. When the front end does something unexpected, the driver hesitates. Not for a full second. Not even for half a second. Just enough. And in Formula One, just enough can be the difference between attacking and defending. Ferrari needed to understand that before Belgium. Instead, another distraction appeared before the race. After the first practice session, Ferrari electronically returned 2 sets of dry weather tires. But the team failed to physically return the corresponding tires before the next session began. The result was a fine of €10,000, 5,000 for each car. It was not a performance violation. Ferrari did not gain extra speed. The cars did not receive an illegal advantage. But that is exactly why the mistake carried an uncomfortable message. It was procedural. It was avoidable. A championship operation must control hundreds of details throughout a Grand Prix weekend. Tires, fuel, setup changes, release times, driver communication, regulatory deadlines. One missed procedure may look harmless, but when a team is already fighting to catch Mercedes, every avoidable distraction matters. The fine did not cost Ferrari the race. It added another sign that the operation was not fully under control. Then the Belgian Grand Prix began. Russell suffered a problem linked to boost and energy deployment as he exited the first corner. The Mercedes did not accelerate normally. Cars began moving around him. The field compressed. Grip was reduced. Every driver had less time and less space to react. Hamilton entered that chaos. Contact followed. Russell was sent out of the race. The stewards judged Hamilton responsible, but they also recognized the difficult opening lap conditions and reduced the standard punishment. Hamilton received a 5-second penalty. That changed his entire afternoon. 5 seconds sounds small. At Formula One speed, it can destroy a strategic plan. A driver may lose several positions. He may return from the pits behind slower traffic. He may need to build a gap instead of attacking the car ahead. The team must calculate every decision around the punishment. Should the penalty be served during the pit stop? Can the driver create enough distance before stopping? Will another safety car reduce the damage? Does the team sacrifice one strategy to protect another? Hamilton was no longer racing only against the cars around him. He was racing against time already added to his result. And Ferrari was now managing two completely different objectives. Leclerc was fighting Antonelli for victory. Hamilton was trying to recover from contact and a penalty. One side of the garage needed clean air. The other needed opportunity. One driver needed Ferrari to control the race. The other needed the race to become unpredictable. Then the second virtual safety car gave Ferrari a chance. The team brought both cars into the pits together. A double stack. Leclerc arrived first. Hamilton followed. When a double stack works, it can be one of the most efficient strategic moves in Formula One. The team services one car. That car leaves. The second car moves into place immediately. But there's almost no margin. Every mechanic must be positioned correctly. Every tire must be ready. The space around the pit box must remain clear. The release must be safe. One small delay can trap the second driver. One small misjudgment can create danger. For Leclerc, the decision worked. Ferrari used the timing of the virtual safety car to place him into the effective lead. For Hamilton, the stop created one of the most alarming moments of the weekend. As he left the pit box, his Ferrari struck one of the team's mechanics. Hamilton reacted immediately over the radio. He said he could not turn the car. That message changed the meaning of the incident. Hamilton was not simply describing a crowded pit lane. He was describing a limitation in his ability to steer away from danger. The exact responsibility required investigation, but the risk was already clear. A Formula One mechanic stands only inches from a moving car. The process works because everyone trusts the system. The mechanics trust the release signal. The driver trusts that the path is clear. The team trusts that the car can be controlled. When one part of that chain fails, the consequences can become serious within a fraction of a second. Ferrari now faced another investigation. Hamilton was summoned to meet the stewards after the race. And suddenly, the discussion was no longer limited to points. One of Ferrari's own people had been struck by the car. That is the type of incident that changes the atmosphere inside a garage. A slow stop creates frustration. A strategic mistake creates debate. A safety incident creates questions that must be answered. Did Ferrari understand that Hamilton could not turn the car normally? Was the release made too early? Was the space around the pit box too crowded? Did the pressure of the double stack influence the decision? The available information did not provide a complete final explanation. But Ferrari could not dismiss the questions. The team had already received a procedural fine. Hamilton had already collected a race penalty. Now the pit stop had created another regulatory issue and a genuine safety concern. The incidents were different. Together, they formed a pattern. Ferrari was performing close to the limit, but the team was not controlling every detail around that performance. That is why Hamilton's fourth place was deceptive. He recovered. He continued driving after the collision. He managed the penalty. He survived the pit lane incident. He reached the finish and scored strongly. A less experienced driver might have allowed the chaos to destroy the entire afternoon. Hamilton did not, but his recovery could also hide how unstable the race had become. A great driver can make a troubled operation look cleaner than it is. A strong finishing position can make a difficult weekend appear successful. Hamilton's words prevented Ferrari from doing that. He acknowledged the effort. Then he exposed the distance still remaining. The team had taken a step with the engine, not the whole step. Ferrari needed to continue putting one foot in front of the other. That sounded diplomatic. It was also a warning, because the engine improvement had not stopped Antonelli from passing Leclerc. Ferrari used the second virtual safety car well. Leclerc gained the effective lead. The strategy was correct. The pit stop gave him track position. Russell was already out. Mercedes had only Antonelli left at the front. Ferrari had the opportunity it needed. But around lap 34, Antonelli chased Leclerc down and passed him on the Kemmel Straight. The Mercedes then won by roughly 1.9 seconds. That pass gave Hamilton's statement its real meaning. Ferrari had improved. Mercedes still possessed the decisive advantage. A stronger engine should improve acceleration. It should help the car defend on long straights. It should give the driver more freedom when attacking. But Hamilton said Ferrari had completed only part of the required progress. Spa confirmed it. Leclerc could reach the lead. He could not keep the Mercedes behind. That does not mean the engine alone caused the defeat. Straight-line performance comes from several connected areas: power, electrical deployment, corner exit, rear grip, aerodynamic resistance. But Hamilton's comment made clear that Ferrari still viewed the power unit as an unfinished part of the solution. And the word unfinished described much more than the engine. Hamilton's setup confidence was unfinished. Ferrari's procedural control was unfinished. The team's pit lane execution was unfinished. Its ability to turn strategic advantage into victory was unfinished. The Belgian weekend became a collection of incomplete answers. The car was fast, not fast enough. The strategy was strong, not strong enough to protect the lead. Hamilton recovered, not without contact and a penalty. Ferrari double-stacked the cars, not without a dangerous incident. The team had moved forward, not far enough to stop Mercedes. That is what should have shaken Ferrari. Hamilton did not publicly attack anyone. He did not blame Vasseur. He did not accuse the mechanics. He did not describe the car as hopeless.